Singapore's inflation rate is expected to hit 3 to 4% this year, up from the previous forecast of 2 to 3%. With rising prices and a higher cost of living, how do Singaporeans cope?
There are two sources of inflation. One will be imported inflation. Imported inflation will come through when oil price goes up, when the cost of food goes up, plus other imported machineries and the products that we need. So the way to handle this imported inflation is through a strong Singapore dollar. The other will be, caused by the domestic factors. Domestic inflation will be when there's a shortage. For example, if there's a shortage of workers, you find that there's wage pressure. Wage pressure leads to a higher cost because wage is a factor in the cost of production. Rental is another factor in causing inflation because if there's a short supply of office space, then rent will go up. So for the domestic side, the solution normally is to supply. You supply more workers. In our case, to bring in more foreign workers so that your domestic wage costs will not shoot up. So this is where the growth dividends, utilities save, S&C save, and so on, will help you.
Speaking to some 200 grassroots leaders from Marine Parade GRC at a post-budget dialogue, Senior Minister Goh Chok Tong discussed issues ranging from cost of living to foreign workers to the ageing population. One of the concerns raised was how to ensure that older workers still remain competitive in the workforce.
You see, for older workers, our pay is already stagnant. There's no increment in pay, but the expenses is still higher. We still pay. So where do we come in?
If the pay goes up and up, then the employer will say, look, I better get a younger worker, let you retire. But we are against early retirement. We want a person to be re-employed, which means the pay may even have to come down. That's the reality. Otherwise, we cannot go on and on paying older workers more. But it's a real problem because costs will still go up for the older workers.
Another issue that was brought up was how the increase in foreign worker levies would impact Singaporeans.
You go back to low foreign worker levy, I think you're going to be inundated with these foreign workers and you're going to get the political pressure, and it's not a Singapore that you want. So how would employers react? Some cannot cope, then they have to close shop and do something else and become employees themselves. Others will find ways. But more importantly, what is the way to increase the real income of Singaporeans, the lower unskilled types, your cleaners and those sort of necessary skills?
If local Singaporeans can take up all these jobs, I think the problems can be solved.
I grant you that no matter what you try, you're going to be short of workers at the bottom. You can't get foreign workers. You have to go and get those who are now not working to come out to work. And how to get them out to work is to pay them better and to give them the skills. And importantly, to give them a sense of dignity, that this may be a low-level job, but I can do many things at one time. I've got pride in that job.
In his ending speech, SM Goh said this year's budget has covered most of the issues concerning Singaporeans, from tackling rising costs to Singapore's future growth. But more can be done in the area of special needs.
Down syndrome, autistic people, and those with some disabilities who are in institutions or who are at home. These are very, expensive interventions if you want to intervene at a very young age for such people. And also have some concern for the caregivers of these people. So if you intervene early, helping the parents to defray the cost, or the institutions or the BW owes them more funds, I think you have lesser problems later on. Because these people can learn some skills to look after themselves. If there's no early intervention when they grow old, then they haven't got the skills. And next, what happens when these people grow old? I think this is an area where we've got to have further study.
For more on the post-budget dialogue, watch the following clips.